Welcome to Story Hub, where every tale is a journey. Dive into captivating stories from Reddit and beyond, from heartwarming to spine-chilling encounters. Subscribe and explore a world where every story finds its voice.
In fair Verona, where we lay our scene, two noble families, the Montagues and the Capulets, are locked in a bitter feud. This long-standing rivalry is marked by hostility and violence, spilling into the streets of Verona. The citizens of the city are weary of the fighting, longing for peace as they watch the noble houses clash, time and time again. At the heart of this tale is young Romeo Montague, a sensitive and passionate youth, who finds himself infatuated with Rosaline, a woman who has chosen to shun love. His melancholy is palpable, filling him with a sense of despair that his friends, Benvolio and Mercutio, find both amusing and concerning. Benvolio, ever the peacemaker, urges Romeo to forget Rosaline and seek new loves. Mercutio, his spirited friend, provides comic relief with his tales and jests, most famously through his lively description of Queen Mab, the fairy who brings dreams. Despite their efforts, Romeo remains despondent until Benvolio proposes they attend a grand masquerade ball hosted by the Capulets. With a sense of adventure and a hint of rebellion, Romeo agrees, eager for a distraction from his heartache. He dons a mask and, accompanied by Benvolio and Mercutio, slips into the vibrant atmosphere of the Capulets' festivities. The ball is alive with music and laughter, filled with elegantly dressed guests dancing and mingling under the shimmering chandeliers. As Romeo surveys the room, his eyes lock onto Juliet Capulet, a young woman of extraordinary beauty and grace. It is love at first sight. The two engage in flirtatious banter, completely unaware of the deadly feud between their families. When they share their first kiss, it is as if the world around them fades away, leaving only the intoxicating thrill of newfound love. However, the bliss of their connection is shattered when Romeo learns of Juliet's identity. She is a Capulet, and he is a Montague, enemies by fate. Despite this, their hearts are entwined, leading them to a desperate longing to be together. Later that night, Romeo, unable to leave the enchanting Juliet behind, sneaks into the Capulet orchard. Beneath the moonlit sky, he overhears Juliet speaking to herself on her balcony. She expresses her love for him, lamenting the fact that he is a Montague. Romeo reveals himself, and they share a passionate exchange, vowing to love one another regardless of their family's hatred. As dawn breaks, they are filled with hope and determination. They plan to marry in secret, believing that love can conquer all. With the help of Friar Lawrence, a wise and compassionate priest, they wed the very next day. The friar believes their union may heal the rift between the feuding families. However, the joy of their marriage is short-lived. Tybalt, Juliet's fiery cousin, discovers that Romeo has crashed the Capulet ball and is furious. He confronts Romeo, demanding a duel. Romeo, now bound to Juliet by love, refuses to fight, declaring that he has love for Tybalt. Mercutio, ever the protector of honor, steps in, challenging Tybalt himself. In a tragic twist, Tybalt fatally wounds Mercutio, who curses both houses as he dies, calling for vengeance. In a fit of rage and despair, Romeo avenges Mercutio's death by killing Tybalt. The streets of Verona erupt in chaos, and the Prince of Verona, who had sought to maintain peace, banishes Romeo from the city. This decree tears Romeo from Juliet, leaving both young lovers heartbroken. Juliet is shattered by the news of Romeo's banishment. Unbeknownst to her parents, who are arranging her marriage to Paris, a nobleman, she is caught in a web of love and duty. In her desperation, she turns to Friar Lawrence for help once more. The friar devises a daring plan. Juliet will take a potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. When she awakens in the family tomb, Romeo will be there to rescue her, and they can escape together. With trembling hands, Juliet drinks the potion on the eve of her wedding to Paris. Her family discovers her dead body the next morning, plunging into deep mourning. They lay her in the family tomb, surrounded by the shadows of despair. Meanwhile, the message about Juliet's feigned death fails to reach Romeo. Instead, he hears the devastating news of her death from a servant. Consumed by grief, he returns to Verona, desperate to see her one last time. On his way to the tomb, he encounters Paris, who mourns Juliet's loss. In a tragic confrontation, Romeo kills Paris, believing he is defending Juliet's honor. Entering the tomb, Romeo is met with the sight of Juliet's lifeless body. Overwhelmed with sorrow, he drinks poison, uttering a final farewell to his beloved. Moments later, Juliet awakens from her death-like slumber. Her eyes, filled with confusion, search for Romeo. Finding him dead beside her, she is engulfed by despair. In her grief, she takes Romeo's dagger and joins him in death. The tragic conclusion of Romeo and Juliet sends shockwaves through Verona. The Montagues and Capulets, faced with the death of their children, are forced to confront the futility of their hatred. Their feud, once so fierce, crumbles under the weight of their shared grief. In the end, they come together, acknowledging the cost of their enmity and pledging to end the violence. The story of Romeo and Juliet is a powerful testament to love's enduring strength and the devastating consequences of hate. Their brief but intense love story resonates through the ages, reminding us of the fragility of life and the importance of compassion and understanding. This tale of star-crossed lovers transcends time, urging us to cherish those we love, embrace peace, and recognize that the conflicts of the past can have lasting impacts on the future. In the end, Verona stands as a witness to both the beauty of love and the tragedy of hatred, forever changed by the sacrifice of two young souls.
Thanks for joining us at Story Hub. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to check out our next video for another captivating story. Your journey doesn't end here. See you next time.